The very truth about motorcycle restoration projects on YouTube. Watch this video. Hello, welcome to RevelatorAlf. I hope you're all well. So I've been watching quite a few restoration videos on YouTube recently. I'm in the middle of this project build, which I've had to strip apart again and rebuild. It's a bit of a saga, but we won't go into that on this video. But I've been watching some of the videos and I thought, oh, okay, there's some interesting ones out there. There's some really good ones out there, of course, as well. But there's some other ones and you think, this isn't real. And there's a lot of falsehoods. Even in the good YouTube videos that are doing restoration videos, that you think, okay, this is a proper restoration. You kind of look at it and you got to think about, okay, am I looking at this as entertainment or just to zone out in terms of an AMSR or ASMR or whatever it's called? Or am I looking at this as, oh, I could do this? Now, if you're looking at these videos to say, I could do this, I want to do this, it gives you inspiration to do it, then all I would say is just hold on and do your sums before you try it. I'm going to make another video about motorcycle costs and what the real cost of my project build has been. But I just want you to think about this. In terms of the impression that you might get from these videos is that the parts are aplenty, they're easy to get, it's cheap, it's a cheap restoration, and whatever. The problem is they're throwing so much money at these bikes. They're getting all these new parts in and everything just costs. The cost would just mount up, until the bike just isn't worth it. These are parts bikes in many ways. They shouldn't be restored. They shouldn't be better. In some cases, the restoration video or the restorer will actually say, do you know what, this should be a parts bike, but I'm going to try and do it anyway. Now, in that case, at least they're saying that, but you've got to understand that behind this is a machine that is funneling lots of parts into it. And they could be free parts or whatever, or they could be paying for it. But they're earning money off the video, which is paying for it, which is compensating for all the costs. Therefore, the costs don't really matter. The bike to restore could cost £20,000, but it's actually only worth about £3,000 or £4,000, let's say, dollars, shekels. It doesn't matter because you earn all this money on the back end. But in terms of you watching it and taking it into your workshop, it makes no sense whatsoever. Now, if it's a labor of love, if it's something that you've bought a bike, it's something you've always wanted, then you want to restore it over years and years, let's say, you just want something to tinker with in your workshop, fine. But all I'm saying is it's going to cost you a lot more than you think it will. So that's the one thing. That's, I suppose, the false impression of some of these videos, or a lot of these videos, is that it's easy to do, but also that it's financially viable to do, and it isn't. In most cases, it isn't financially viable. Now, if the video is not a restoration video, it's a basically get the bike running again, just get it roadworthy type thing. That's a totally different thing because you're not spending money on restoring it. You're just spending money on getting it up and running again. But again, be mindful that you're going to probably spend a lot more money than you might get the impression from in a video. Okay, let's talk about these full restoration videos. And some of them, they just look wrong. They just look completely fake. You read in the comments. A good indication is read in the comments of what lots of people are saying. It looks as if, that somebody's just sprayed mud over the bike. Somebody's just placed this, in a barn somewhere. And, it's a fake kind of representation. Some of it, I think, is warranted, the criticism. Others, I think it's, people just jumping on the bandwagon and say, oh, yeah, that looks fake. But some of it looks as if they've just sprayed liquid mud over the bike, and they don't even wash it. They don't even wash the bike before they start working it. Whatever you do, if you get a chance, you got a new bike and it's full of crud or whatever, wash it. Just wash it off. Doesn't matter if you get water everywhere. If you're going to strip it all down, it doesn't make any difference. Just wash it all off. Wash the mud off. You don't want to be dismantling a bike full of mud. Just wash it off. And you'd be surprised what you find under there. It might be a good bike. You don't even need to strip it all apart. Just wash off the mud and you'll be fine. I understand it makes videos. I understand it makes content, but it's a false impression, I would say. And sometimes it's just a downright fake. And I understand you're making videos, fine. but it's not real. It's not a real representation of what's going on. So you could look at any restoration workshop video, and there's a bit of smoke and mirrors there. And some of it is intentional, some of it is not intentional. The non-intentional thing, I think, sometimes is where people are saying, look, this is what I've done, and this is what I've costed, you know, this is how much it costs. But actually, that's not always the real cost. And also on the back of it, they're being backfilled or compensated by the money that they generate from the video as well. That's fine. There's no issue there. But in terms of for you guys watching it, then you might not have that ability to gain money from, you know, making videos, let's say. So therefore, whatever you're investing in the restoration or the rebuild of your bike, that is your expense. And the only way you're going to recoup any of that is by selling the bike in the end. Or if you're not interested in recouping the bike, you just want recouping the money, you just want to have that bike for a few months or a year or 2 years and just ride it around for fun, that's fine. But just know that all this is expenses on you, and it's not going to be as easy as a lot of these restoration videos would have you believe. Also, that what they don't show a lot of the time is sometimes a lot of these bikes or these restoration builds require specialist tools. Sometimes they do, but sometimes they don't. And if you haven't got those specialist tools, you're either going to have to buy it or you're going to have to borrow it or whatever it is. And sometimes it just might be beyond you. That's just the nature of the beast. And if my latest project build has got anything to say on the subject, you're also going to be hit by lots of things that you just didn't expect. I can't tell you how many bikes I've built or tinkered with or fixed over the years. And, you know, every now and again, a bike will come up which will fight you, that something will go wrong, left, right, and center. And this is no exception here. So that's what you don't usually see on these restoration builds. Anyway, listen, I thought I'd share this with you because sometimes you look at these things and it gives you a false impression that everything is great, everything is easy, and look how wonderful it is. But if you look deeply or closely at these videos, then you'll spot the problems with it. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Let's put it that way. If you like what I do here, just keep on watching the videos, and I'll catch you again. Bye now.